been a lot of power of friendship monologues in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Think of all those times where friendship was shown as being special and important, and the bond between two people who are buddies was taken and made into a special thing. And chuck all that shit down the toilet! Because none of those people were willing to fucking kill themselves in the name of friendship and the desire to be with somebody. Think about that, people. The chair robot in the comedy Yu-Gi-Oh! Pushed us to that level of drama. We got there. That's the power of sevens. Hello, everyone. This week, we had a very interesting take on things. A couple of actually really interesting things. First and foremost, I wasn't expecting this. We see that, I think he's called Yugioh, because he's now the only one we're seeing. So Yugioh is up in the spacecraft, and he's all like, gotta figure out fusion. Now, I think it was just supposed to be that the lights he had on the cards were pink and green, but I choose to believe that this is one of the few examples of alternate arts in the anime. When was the last time we had this and it clearly just wasn't a typo or an animation error? What, Dark Magician 20 years ago? It's time for alternate arts, god damn it! Yeah, so anyways, the kid is all like, gotta figure this out. What's going on? Also, why did he go to sleep? And you assume it's just gonna be regular Luke. But no, he's still got the helmet on and it's still controlling him. Which at first I was like, okay, that's kind of funny, but it's also kind of smart, because Yugioh was trying to figure out what's going on here, so if the helmet tries to go off Luke now, he's going to figure it out. So if he stays on Luke for the time being and just kind of waits this out till the time is right to strike, it actually makes a lot more sense than just doing what you'd assume they'd do. But yeah, no, so then it's revealed that Yuga and crew are going to meet up with Asuna and her band of simps, and they're out in the mountains where they find that Tiger has made a giant tiger head in the mountain. I choose to believe with the oboe. Is that an oboe? I forget. I choose to believe she used the instrument to do it. Tiger is that fucking awesome. What's kind of funny is that we get a different side of Tiger. We see that this is how she deals with defeat or loss or her own shortcomings. She's mad, she's frustrated, so she's taking it out on something, and instead of what we usually see where she's just kind of like shouting to people or maybe beating people up, when she's genuinely kind of just doesn't know what else to do and feels like she fails, the thing she chooses to do is just kind of, I guess, this goofy show's version of like whittling or finicking with something or just doing something to get her mind off the situation. That's kind of a nice bit of characterization for what? The 10th most important character in the show? I kind of like little stuff like that. I also like that Asuna, like, because we see Tiger's about to like fall out and, you know, would hurt herself if not die. And just immediately, Asuna, like, goes to reach for her. Again, nice to see that that friendship has not been abandoned. But it's also an interesting little sort of carryover into what seems to be the theme of this episode, and I think will probably play a part in the next duel. And that is kind of that idea of friendship persevering and kind of, like, developing and growing, which we sort of see. Asuna, when we first met her, was very much just kind of like dominating and like, do everything I say, I'm in charge, like, you'll be happy if you just do what I say, that all that good stuff. But here we see that now she's kind of evolved as a person. Like, she has her bestest childhood buddy back, and we see that she's willing to show, like, a bit of vulnerability around Tiger. She's okay with, like, showing her emotions in front of her. And that's a nice bit. I also like that Tiger will show her emotions more when she is with Asuna. I like just the little bit with the tear. It's not a joke. Like, Tiger's genuinely, like, frustrated and going through some shit, and, like, Asuna is gonna help her deal with it, which is, you know, good character writing. So then, like, Nail shows up, and he's all like, alright, I gotta duel you next. It's me. Why is it me? It may be because I have an official title, But we all know what's really going on here. When I brought down all those satellites as a kid, I'm still paying off that shit. So I kind of got to do this or it's jail time, and I'm too pretty to go to jail. If you ever go on any sort of like art sharing anime site, you'll see many people think Nail is pretty, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so the duel begins, and once again, I really like the way maximums are used in the show. Like, because you just assume, oh, Asuna got her maximums back. Why fuck you? The show makes you believe harder things. But no, like, Nail has his maximums, and then Asuna's new strategy is to utilize the ace cards of her simps. Yes, I'm just going to call them simps. Yeah, and at first I'm kind of like, alright, it's cheesy, she's using the aces, we've seen this before. But no, she genuinely adapted her strategy for how to utilize monsters with different types but high levels. That's actually pretty creative, just finding what cards work with what and what gives you these benefits and all that good stuff. And I think it's kind of interesting because, again, sort of like what I said, like, she's evolved as a person. She's not going to try and be above anyone anymore. She accepts their friendship. When they're willing to, like, put their dueling ability on the line with giving up their key cards or whatever the fuck that is, she doesn't want them to do that, but she will accept them into her deck and on equal terms. That's really good stuff. So then the duel commences, and again, it's just fun to see, like, Nail go off and all his convoluted cyber strategies. So, you know, cyber strategies. But then we get towards the end of the duel, and the final turn, I wasn't really expecting this. I genuinely wasn't expecting the idea that, because when Nail activates the trap, you assume where this is going is that, oh, he's going to win. He's going to win, and then they'll do some convoluted thing so that way they get one more chance at a duel. But no, he literally just activates the trap because he just is having fun and he wants the duel to continue. And you don't expect that with that character. You don't expect that kind of growth and development, that idea that he's changing and becoming a better person and he wants to experience that feelings of friendship that now even Asuna is getting to feel. He doesn't just want to be alone thinking about his Providence all the time. Also, this was still not this idea of like just prolonging the duel for 5 seconds and not just accepting defeat or victory is a hell of a lot better than in 5Ds when they fought the Team Unicorn people, and even though the guy had victory after setting up a 2-week-long strategy, he gives it all up to attack a defense position monster for no fucking reason. For those of you who don't know, I actually love that duel. It's really fun and creative, and I hate that in the dub they tried to turn it into a lesson about not cheating. But you know what? That ending is bullshit. It's genuine bullshit. But yeah, so that's that. So then, Asuna wins the duel. She wins it with strategy and cunning and that idea that she has evolved as a person through having friends. And Nail wants to evolve and get better by having friends. Who doesn't? Who has cast everyone away? Yugioh. I really hope that's his name and I'm not screwing this up. He's literally cast away his own fucking family just for power. And the point that we're seeing with this is that's not how that's going to work, and we'll probably see it in the next duel. And then the episode ends, what's-his-face, Gakudo is all like, we should only be 3 to 5 because Luke is technically on our side, ha! Which is what you expect they would have done, and Yuga's like, nah, 5-5, this is the last duel, let's do this shit. Obviously, this means he got his fusion card, and we're gonna see some cool shit. Will Yuga finally beat Luke? Yes, but they'll later use that technicality that Luke was under the influence. Sounds worse than I meant it. So therefore, they can have another duel later in the show, which will probably be our final duel of the series in like a year and a half. But yeah, no, so that was this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. And no, we gotta talk about this. That fucking ending! Like, Nail's just like, I don't have friends, I'm gonna learn what that means. That's already a touching moment, but as they're like walking away, the presidential protocol or whatever won't let Sebastian go with Nail, because like Nail's not part of Goha anymore. But then Sebastian's all just like, no, I'd rather die without you, Nail. And like, He's ripping himself apart. There's no joke here. There's no goofy silliness. There's not even bright colors. Like, they dim the colors. It's meant to be a serious, dramatic moment. This is a huge turning point in Nail's life. Like, all this time, Sebastian has, like, been there for him, but because Nail just thought of him as, like, his servant or caretaker or whatever, he never believed that Sebastian looked at him as a friend, just like someone to be obedient to. But here, Sebastian is genuinely willing to say that you're never alone. You've always had me, and I care about you to the point where I refuse to not be with you. And it's actually a legit great dramatic moment, and I dig it quite a damn bit. But yeah, what did you think of this week's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens? Like, I think this is a really good way to bring in the friendship theme and where it's all going. But yeah, tell me that below. And as for the TCG question of the week, tins are coming. Speculation as to what is in the tins is happening. Is it Crossout Designator? Fuck if I know. Is it Access Code Talker? Highly doubt it. Is it going to be a ton of commons you do not give a shit about, and they will rarity bump stuff so that way good stuff that could be in the tins won't be here? Oh, you bet your ass they did. As of the time of this recording, even though a lot of tins have hit the European market, no one has bit the bullet and cracked them open to spoil it yet. But probably by the end of this week they will, if not the uploading of this video, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Well, what do you want to be in the tins? What do you think realistically will be in the tins? What won't be in the tins? Tell me that below. I think Zeus is enough. Like, they're not going to give up access code now, especially when there's not a ton of high-profile things people really care about these days besides access code and Zeus. But tell me that below, and as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for the ultimate duel of Yuga versus the